Welcome back to Wake Up America. I'm Alex Kramer. Well, it's now time to fill you in on what happened last night. Well, U.S. Senate candidate Kathy Barnett reveals that she was a product of rape during Newsmax debate for Pennsylvania's Republican Senate primary. Here it is, in case you missed it.
I am the byproduct of a rape. My mother was 11 years old when I was conceived. My father was 21. I was not just a lump of cells. As you can see, I'm still not just a lump of cells. My life has value. And that is one of the reasons why it was so very disturbing when I saw Mehmet Oz running for this particular race, when I've seen him on numerous occasions, and specifically at the Breakfast Club, saying that my life was nothing more than a acorn with electrical currents. I am wondering if the good doctor has now since changed his position on that.
Yeah, pretty powerful testimony there. Rob, Allison.
Yeah, Greta Van Susteren moderating that Pennsylvania debate last night. We'll see what happens there, but fascinating to watch that last night right here on Newsmax. All right, thank you, Alex. Following the unprecedented Monday leak at the Supreme Court of a 5-4 draft ruling on the landmark 1973 case Roe versus Wade, Democrats are now trying to shift the narrative from gas prices, inflation, the border crisis, and the war in Ukraine to abortion rights, conveniently right ahead of the November midterms.
Yeah, for more on this, let's welcome in House Foreign Affairs Committee member and Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett. Congressman, welcome back to Wake Up America.
Thank you all for having me.
Good to see you, Congressman. I just want to get your take on the Monday night leak at the Supreme Court and the fact that we still have no real idea who this leaker is.
Yeah, I'm pro-life. I think there's no excuse for this. It's really just an act of intimidation, regardless of who leaked it. And that's why I actually called on Director Wray of the FBI to launch an investigation and just find out what the heck went on. And I suspect there could be some criminal charges that could be held against those. We know those responsible that did this. This is an unprecedented move, regardless of who released it and for whatever reason they did. And they need to check the date stamp on that. That is, it was a document that was several months old, I believe, and the timing, of course, is what they're doing. Their October surprise is a little early, which leads me to believe they've got more to release.
Too, the document.
Yeah.
I don't know how they've got a paper trail. How do they not know who did this?
Yeah, the timing,
Well,
Congressman.
they know who did it.
Yeah.
They know who did it. They just don't want to find out. The ruling class in Washington just does not, they have no regard for life. This is all about power. It's all about power, and they've failed at everything they've done. They failed with the inflation, with gas, Ukraine, Afghanistan, you name it. They've just got to get something else in the press besides their face.
Congressman, I think you're right. I want to start talking about this because as things continue to unravel under the current administration, President Biden spoke out addressing the chaos coming from the leaked Supreme Court Roe versus Wade draft. Take a listen.
What happens if you have a state changes the law saying that children who are LGBTQ can't be in classrooms with other children? Is that legit under the way that the decision is written? What are the next things that are going to be attacked? Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history.
All right, Congressman, I don't know what he's talking about, saying that LGBTQ kids can't be in the classroom with other children. But let's talk about this, that he's calling the MAGA crowd extremists.
Well, I've gone from anger to pity with Joe Biden. He's a clown, really, and the folks that are around him, they gotta be bailing pretty quick, I would say, because this just doesn't make any sense. Nobody was even talking about that issue. And to bring in the so-called MAGA crowd, 78 million Americans, to me is beyond belief. They are a sinking ship right now. And I'm not so certain that some of the people that are whispering in his ear are just tanking him on purpose, because they need to get rid of him and they need to move on to the next the next chapter in the Democrat Party, because this obviously is not working. And as I've always said, you need to put the best player in, Coach, and the best player is not in the White House right now.
Congressman, let's talk about that. We're about 6 months to the day away from the midterm elections. Joe Biden's been in office for 16 months now. According to a brand new McLaughlin poll, 60% of voters want the White House to, quote, be more transparent about the president's mental health. 66% believe that 79-year-old Joe Biden, he'll be 80 in November, has been hindered by his age. What do you make of that? The fact that the majority of Americans now think something is wrong.
Well, I think it's pretty evident when they're clearly attacking Dianne Feinstein, who I actually had a conversation with last week, and it's a complete diversion. They're just floating trial balloons out there to take the focus off of him. If you were to actually ask the Democrats that I talked to in the locker room, they're about at 100%, and they agree that there is something wrong there, and that something needs to be done. But of course, the number two person, I've told all my folks, I said, let's pray for this president. We need to keep him in office until the next election, because Vice President Kamala Harris is a nightmare. And I mean, her staff, you just look at what goes on in her history, and that is definitely not who we need at the helm.
Allison and I were talking about this off camera, but Dianne Feinstein, regardless of her mental cognitive health right now, she's going to be 89 years old in June. 89 years old.
Right.
Yeah, and Congressman, to your...
I agree. I mean, you know, I don't know how you're going to put an age limit on it. If there's a cognitive test, I'd say, well, I don't know about that.
You do a great job, sir.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Congressman Tim Burchett, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Congressman.
It's always great to be with y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.